What's good, YouTube? It's your boy Fear Dyer coming at you with another reaction. Tonight, I'm gonna be reacting to 10 creepy ghost sightings caught on tape. It's 13 minutes long, so not gonna take too long talking in the beginning. But before I get into it, I'd like to mention that I do stream on Twitch, which you'll see in the bottom right corner, Fear Dyer. At Fear Dyer, and also if you'd like to keep updated whenever I drop reactions, my social media is also on the bottom right. Twitter and Instagram, you'll see there's all the same Fear Dyer, same as my YouTube. Alright, let's get into it. Hopefully this one's creepy. The last one was. Alright, here we go.
Chills. Number 10, Ghost Jail. A YouTuber named Junked Up Kitten and his friends are exploring an old county jail. They take a video camera with them so that they can make a parody of the Ghost Hunters television series. Little did the small group know that on this night they would accidentally capture actual evidence of real ghosts. Junked Up Kitten wanders around the property with the camera close to his face while narrating. He passes...
You seen that? Alright, I'm not gonna... Ugh. Look, check it. They're probably gonna replay.
By an ordinary looking jail cell window and doesn't think much of it at the time.
Look at that, you can see like a nose here, the eyes, the mouth. This little face here, I think that's what it is.
He goes back to review the footage later. He makes a startling discovery in the window. It looks like his parody show has turned out to be the real thing.
Yeah.
From the other side of the glass, the colorless reflection of a man's face stares at him.
That's
You
creepy.
can clearly see the outline of the ghost's brow, nose, and empty eyes. His head is cocked to the right, almost as if he is sizing up a newcomer.
Like
his mouth appears to be a
when
thin,
they show it before
expressionless line.
I just want to
If
see the
anything, the
video
ghost has
straight.
incredible
I don't want
timing.
replay
Right when
before
Junked
it.
Up Kitten says that he is looking for evidence of ghosts, one just happens to show up in the window. It's almost as if the ghost was trying to make its presence known. Perhaps it was even trying to get a hold of someone who could free it from its miserable cell. Number 9, Restaurant Spooks. Most people think of houses, hospitals, or jails when they think about ghost sightings, but some of the most unsuspecting of places can turn out to be the most haunted. This footage was taken in a popular food joint during broad daylight. A shadowy ghost suddenly materializes in a Subway restaurant. It starts out in the shape of a human and almost appears to be getting a table. When it gets back to its seat, the black shadow suddenly changes into a floating black blob of an orb. At this point, an employee or maybe a customer appears to see the ghost in the doorway. Whoever they are, they look stunned for a second and then quickly back away. The shadow orb pays no attention to the human as it floats up to the window and lingers there. It's almost as if it's taking a look at the outside world. The ghost starts to rise even higher and shrinks until it fully disappears back to wherever it came from. Number 8, the Ghost Stadium. Ghosts don't have to wait until nighttime before they can begin to haunt. As this Brazilian soccer footage shows, the crowd is happily cheering on their favorite team when suddenly a shadow ghost starts sprinting through all of them. Look closely and you'll notice how nobody tries to move out of the way. Even though a person is clearly running full speed at them, not a single person tries to pull their legs in or even bothers to look up. They are so concentrated on the game that they do not see, feel, or hear the ghost as it runs directly through the half-filled stadium in a straight line.
I don't know, is that like an actual goal? But he is kind of running through them like nothing, because you know, if you've been to the game, you have to like scoop like excuse me, like, you know, you have to like kind of squeeze in there. This guy's just walking straight through everybody. It's not scary though.
Look closely and you'll notice how nobody tries to move out of the way. Even though a person is clearly running full speed at them, not a single person tries to pull their legs in or even bothers to look up. They are so concentrated on the game that they do not see, feel, or hear the ghost as it runs directly through the half-filled stadium in a straight line. Number 7, Fridge Ghost. A YouTuber named No Ghost Hunter grows tired of living in a haunted home and decides to videotape the disturbances for evidence. It's a little past midnight when he hears scratching noises, which soon progresses into running footsteps and loud bangs. These noises appear to be coming from all different areas of the home at once. The next day, his HD TV literally begins rocking violently from side to side all by...
Yeah, I have that TV. What the heck? How is that moving?
itself. The rocking motion picks up speed until the corners of the TV are almost hitting the entertainment center, and it looks like the base is going to break. Then the TV starts rocking back and forth the other way. There is nobody behind the television, and there's no way they could have been using strings to do this. The day after, no ghost hunter finds a short video on his phone that he is 100% sure he did not make. The video is shot from the ground level of his kitchen. When you look at the reflection in the oven, you can see that nobody is holding the phone. The phone is literally floating in midair. Additional
if this is a ghost, you really don't even give a damn if you're there watching them. He's normally, when you think you heard something, you look something, see something moving, you move, turn around right away. You turn around right away, you know it stops. At least that's what I think. This ghost just don't care. Just I don't care. You know, he's shaking the freaking TV. He's like, what you gonna do about it?
phone that he is 100% sure he did not make. The video is shot from the ground level of his kitchen. When you look at the reflection in the oven, you can see that nobody is holding the phone. The phone is literally floating in midair. Additional footage shows the TV shaking by itself again. This time, no ghost hunter is able to film behind the television to show that this is not a prank at all. He waves his hand above the television to show that there's no wires, and he even films underneath the base to show that there is no rod coming out from the entertainment center or anything like that. The lights cut out multiple times while he films. A few days later, he captures his refrigerator door slamming open and closed again and again. The brazen poltergeist leaves the door open.
That's creepy. That's proof. I mean, you know, some people don't believe that ghosts are real. Man, ghosts are real. Ghosts are freaking real. This guy just proved that there's no cutoff. He has a camera inside the fridge showing you proof that it's real. There's no string. There's no way somebody could be opening it. It's clearly empty in there. Nobody's in the freaking kitchen. Look at the freaking fridge is open.
Films underneath the base to show that there is no rod coming out from the entertainment center or anything like that.
And
the lights cut out multiple times while he films. A few days later, he captures his refrigerator door slamming open and closed again and again. The brazen poltergeist leaves the door open to make sure its presence is fully known. Damn. Number 6, watched from above. A group of British friends are playing catch in a courtyard when one of them sees something strange and points it out to the others. The camera follows his gaze and stops on a pale face looking at them from high above. The sickly person looks at them for a second longer before silently slipping out of view. The group is now creeped out and wants to know who.
Oh, that's fucking creepy. Like, that dude is pale, super pale. I was gonna say, nah, that could be just somebody up there, you know, messing with them. But damn, look how pale this dude is. You know, I don't see a body. You just see like a floating face, pretty much.
Who has been spying on them this whole time. They tell the property manager about the face they saw in the window, but she says that it's impossible. The room they are talking about has been locked and unoccupied for quite some time. The manager goes up with them to unlock the door and show them around. They try and find the person, but the place is completely empty. There's no way anyone could have been up there.
Wait, hold on, I missed that.
Finally slipping out of view. The group is now creeped out and wants to know who has been spying on them this whole time. They tell the property manager about the face they saw in the window, but she says that it's impossible. The room they are talking about has been locked and unoccupied for quite some time. The manager goes up with them to unlock the door and show them around. They try and find the person, but the place is completely empty. There's no way anyone could have been up there, yet the camera obviously says differently. The mysterious peeper has...
You see that? That dude's all like, bro, let's get the fuck over here. That kind of look. You seen him?
Quite some time. The manager goes up with them to unlock the door and show them around. They try and find the person, but the place is completely empty. There's no way anyone could have been up there, yet the camera obviously says differently.
This guy, look, his eyes like, bro, get the fuck out of here, that's creepy.
The mysterious peeper has never been identified. Number 5, Old Pete's Ghost. There's a famous pub in Sydney, Australia called the Carlisle Castle Hotel. For years, this local watering hole has been haunted by the ghost of Old Pete, a bitter ex-employee who left the earth quite some time ago, but not his job.
Yeah, that will be my reaction. That dude's like, what the fuck? What the hell just happened? That's creepy. There's no way that would have fell off too, especially like, you know, you see the shelves. You know, you stock one in the back, you push it back, and you put another wine. The wines are not light either. They're not like super light. You kind of have some weight to it. Not like super heavy, but it has some weight. You know, you have to at least give it a push for it to slide down, fall, and then the one in the back slide all the way to the floor of the show, and then fall off as well. And it just came out like nothing, like nothing.
Called the Carlisle Castle Hotel. For years, this local watering hole has been haunted by the ghost of Old Pete, a bitter ex-employee who left the earth quite some time ago, but not his job. His ghostly antics have been caught on camera no less than 3 times. The first time Pete was caught on tape, he was helping a customer. The unsuspecting man opens the door to the cooler when Pete decides to grab 2 bottles of red wine for himself. His ghost grip must have not been too tight though, because both bottles go crashing to the floor. Looking at the footage, there's no way that the shelf gave out or anything like that. The bottles were thrown to the ground with deliberate force with no one nearby. Another incident occurred when...
And I bet you ain't then the guy that works and be like, hey bro, you broke that? You break your bike.
The bar was full of witnesses. Everyone is happily enjoying themselves when a hanging red wine glass suddenly dislodges itself and smashes into the counter. Glass shards fly everywhere and the entire bar
look at everybody react like, what the hell? And she didn't have her hands. She was like this at the edge, not even touching anything. Wow.
Says everyone is happily enjoying themselves when a hanging red wine glass suddenly dislodges itself and smashes into the counter. Glass shards fly everywhere and the entire bar takes notice. Although this could have simply been a freak accident, what are the chances that, of all the red wine glasses, the one that's directly underneath the server happens to be the one to fall and break? The timing is almost too perfect to be a coincidence. Old Pete strikes again. The third and final tape reveals a glimpse of Old Pete himself. The bar is empty this time when the angry ghost suddenly materializes in front of the security camera. If you look closely, you can make out Old Pete's head at the bottom of the screen.
Wow. Is that his head over here? I could have sworn that he was looking at the camera and be like, hey, like waving at the camera. Wow, this ghost is just...
Of Old Pete himself. The bar is empty this time when the angry ghost suddenly materializes in front of the security camera. If you look closely, you can make out Old Pete's head at the bottom of the screen. He appears to be waving. Many other bartenders and customers all claim to have seen Old Pete for themselves in one way or another. Wow. It isn't uncommon for tapes to turn on by themselves, and the bartenders have seen what they can only describe as strange things while counting down their registers after close. To make this all even stranger, all of the bottles that go crashing to the floor are always high-end red wines. This just so happened to be Old Pete's favorite drink, at least when he was still with the living.
Dude, and he was saying that it was dark red wine they were constantly dropping, and that was that Pete's, whatever his name was, favorite wine. That's crazy.
Number 4, the church disturbance. Steve and Jake are wandering around the woods one summer night with a single goal in mind. They want to explore an abandoned local chapel that's rumored to be haunted. As they approach, they see that someone has written prayers and warnings all over the outside wall. The two friends instantly get a bad feeling about this adventure, but they swallow their fear and decide to press on. The rickety main door is locked, so they sneak around back. Already, they don't want to be here much longer. They had explored an old clock tower earlier in the day and were greatly disappointed by a lack of paranormal activity, but they could tell this church is way different. The place looked and felt quite haunted. They go up some wooden steps and enter through the back door. They shine their flashlights deep into the church's main assembly. There's rows and rows of wood.
I don't know if it's just me, but does anybody else get like creeped out when it's like a dark room, especially like a church, benches everywhere, and like it is there? Doesn't it automatically give you chills, like you scared? Like, would you walk into a dark, especially if it's a church that's been, you know, closed forever? I mean, it might be just me. Like, I watch so many movies that like creepy stuff happen in a church, so now like seeing this, it's just like automatically giving me chills. Like, oh hell no, I would not go in there and have like statues moving or something, because I've seen like movies that have little tears, crying blood, and all that. That would be too creepy. Anyways, let's get back to it.
But they could tell this church is way different. The place looked and felt quite haunted. They go up some wooden steps and enter through the back door. They shine their flashlights deep into the church's main assembly. There's rows and rows of wooden pews ahead of them. They pass by a podium and notice a piano. Then they head deeper inside. Now they find themselves inside of a small maintenance closet. They close the door behind them because they don't want anyone sneaking up on them. It feels like anyone could be watching them right now. They see a ladder to the left. Steve is about to climb it until Jake jokes that a body is going to fall down on him if he does, so he decides not to. That's when the piano starts to play from outside.
Oh no. Oh my god. Turn the light.
That's the same thing I would do if I'm breaking into a old church, like haunted church that say it was haunted, and I go in there past the main room, whatever that is, into the next room, and all of a sudden I hear the piano playing. Of course, that will be my reaction. Turn to, like, they might catch us, see us. Like, I'll be creeped out if it was like the owner coming back or whatever it is. That'll be my exact reaction.
Is going to fall down on him if he does, so he decides not to. That's when the piano starts to play from outside.
Oh no. Oh my god. Turn the light.
Chills, man.
Piano. Is that piano? Oh, should we go out there?
Should we get out there?
Is that door open? Is that door open?
It's a soft and haunting piano melody that fills the church.
But hold on, how is the piano playing so well notes and knows the music like perfect? And then, you know, some old piano, especially if it has dust and it's just been there like forever, you actually have to put pressure on it for it to sound come out. Because if you just go like, it hits it but no sound comes out. Dude, this goes must be like, that's some hard ass hits you hitting just to play the piano. That's crazy. If it is the ghost.
Listen. Piano. Is that piano? Should we go out there? Is that door open? Is that door open?
It could just be a radio
It's a
they
soft
put
and
out there.
haunting piano
Have a third
melody
person
that fills
push
the
play.
church. Steve and Jake shut off their flashlights and keep recording. They debate whether or not they should go outside or stay here, where it's semi-safe. They realize that they can't spend the entire night trapped in the broom closet of a haunted church, so they turn their flashlights back on to see who is playing. Sitting at the piano at the far end of the room is a black hunched-over phantom. They scream and shut the door. Jake cries for a bit, then they run away through the back exit. The music stops as soon as they leave the church. They were hoping that the music stopped because it was over, but in reality, it was because...
Was that the hunched dark shadow on the right? Ooh.
Phantom. They scream and shut the door. Jake cries for a bit, then they run away through the back exit. The music stops as soon as they leave the church. They were hoping that the music stopped because it was over.
Here, is that the piano area? Like, is this a shadow here, hunch? Let's see if they point it out.
But in reality, it was because the ghost had gotten up from the piano to chase them. They run a good distance before pausing to look back into the dark scenery. It seems...
Bro, that gave me chills. That dude got up like an old man. The old man got up. Not super old, but... I don't know, it's creepy.
Church. They were hoping that the music stopped because it was over, but in reality, it was because the ghost had gotten up from the piano to chase them. They run a good distance before pausing to look back into the dark scenery. It seems like they've gotten away, but then the ghost finds them and they run away screaming. The camera cuts off as they fall back deeper into the woods. At least one of them survived and uploaded this video onto YouTube, where it's remained for the past 10 years. Number 3, the teleporter. Two girls are alone in their house when one of them sees something in the door.
Bro. I don't know if you can see that shit. Like, freaking chills. That thing. I don't know if that's real or not, but the way it's kind of high up in the door for us, you know. How would this person be floating up in the air and just peeking there, you know? That was creepy.
Onto YouTube, where it's remained for the past 10 years. Number 3, the teleporter. Two girls are alone in their house when one of them sees something in the doorway. Pause the video and you can see it's clearly the upper half of a young girl who is dressed in old-fashioned clothes from another time period. She is floating in midair as she curiously peeks in on the two children to see what they are doing. One of the girls still doesn't see the ghost. She shouts at something that's on television and accidentally startles the ghost away. The girl with the camera follows the ghost as it retreats. The ghost instantly teleports and now stares at them from the top of the steps. The scared
Bro, my freaking skin is so chill. I'm having like going up my neck and shit. That's creepy. I'm not gonna lie. And then the girl like rushes her with the camera and to see what the hell was that? And she try to record her and have her on camera, and then she teleports on top of the freaking stairs, just looking down like, just looking straight down like, oh my god.
She curiously peeks in on the two children to see what they are doing. One of the girls still doesn't see the ghost. She shouts at something that's on television and accidentally startles the ghost away. The girl with the camera follows the ghost as it retreats. The ghost instantly teleports and now stares at them from the top of the steps. The scared girls run out of the house screaming. They stop only for a second to turn around from the street. They can see the ghost girl walking across the left window on the top floor. It vanishes and then suddenly appears on the bottom floor in less than...
That's crazy, man. This only creeps me out so bad because when I was younger, I had same as I seen a lady in white, and just a little short thing before I play. Yeah, it was like in Mexico or something. I was little, and they had this legend, whatever, urban story about the weeping lady, the Llorona, and of course, when I seen it in a party coming out one of those potty bathrooms and just floating a lady in white. And so seeing this is pretty much like creeped the hell out of me. So that's why I'm just like, that's probably why it's hitting me so bad, just because it reminded me of that. And it's also messing with little girls.
teleports and now stares at them from the top of the steps. The scared girls run out of the house screaming. They stop only for a second to turn around from the street. They can see the ghost girl walking across the left window on the top floor.
Wow,
it vanishes and then suddenly appears on the bottom
I'll send this right here.
floor in less than a second. They scream even louder and take off again. Number 2, stay out of the attic. Back in 2008, a man started to notice some strange activities around his house. He would often come home from work to find his dogs cowering under the bed, too afraid to come out. One of his dogs would only come out from under the bed for a brief 10 seconds at most before going straight back into hiding. Something...
Just FYI, the only lighting is here the screen, because the green screen in the back. There's a little green screen right here, I'm touching it. So the only lighting here in the living room, or the room, is whatever's just right here. There's 2 lights. Now you have light pointing at your face, right? So you ever have it where you like turn on the lights in the dark when you go bathroom, whatever, it's dark, you hit it, and then the light hits your eye, and then as soon as you turn it off, you see like your cells, stars everywhere. So pretty much what it is with these lights. When I try to look what's behind over there in the actual room, it's dark as hell and I can't see anything. It's kind of creepy. If you're wondering why I keep that video creeped me out.
2008, a man started to notice some strange activities around his house. He would often come home from work to find his dogs cowering under the bed, too afraid to come out. One of his dogs would only come out from under the bed for a brief 10 seconds at most before going straight back into hiding. Something was intimidating these large dogs badly. The owner starts to hear banging noises.
Just a quick question. Like, do dogs, I know they got their eyesight different, can they see ghosts if they're walking around? Like, can they see it? Like, do they have, like, better vision? Comment below. I don't know anything about it, but
One of his dogs would only come out from
It
under
seems
the
like
bed
the
for a brief
dog
10
sees
seconds at
something.
most before going straight back into hiding. Something was intimidating these large dogs badly. The owner starts to hear banging noises coming from all over his house. He begins to look around. He eventually traces the noise to his attic and goes upstairs with a camera for a closer
Hell no.
look. Everything is completely trashed. Boxes are overturned and clothing is scattered everywhere. Something has violently flung all of his personal possessions all around. As soon
Wow.
as he goes back downstairs, he hears another huge bang and runs right back up the steps. He puts the camera down and searches the empty attic for clues. A nearby metal bucket falls over and he runs out of the room before he gets hurt. Another object hits the ground on its own and the camera moves to the right on its own too. The homeowner was too scared to look at the footage. He waited a week before going back upstairs to get his camera. By now, he is understandably quite paranoid. He begins recording everything he does in his home.
Did that shit move around again? Over and over and over?
And it isn't long before he has more paranormal evidence. One day, his radio turns to static and a spirit orb rushes out the window. Later, someone violently jiggles the doorknob to the door that leads to the attic. The door opens and shuts by itself. The radio goes back to normal soon after. Things look to be going back to normal for a second, but then a paper towel roll suddenly flies up from the table to the couch, and the radio starts making more sounds.
Yep. Those are real. I mean, I already knew they existed. Just because, like, past experience and stuff, but if you guys doubt it and don't believe in it, I did until I saw like some stuff happening. Here we go, man. Here's some proof right here. There's no way there's no way this guy is faking it. There's no possibility between. There's nothing. This freaking paper towel got hit with some good ass force in the top. Smack the shit out for it to flip and hit the couch. That's crazy. Into the door. Nobody's behind it.
Later, someone violently jiggles the doorknob to the door that leads to the attic. The door opens and shuts by itself. The
Leads to the
radio
attic.
goes back to normal soon after. Things
Decided
look
to
to be
come out.
going back to normal for a second, but then a paper towel roll suddenly flies up from the table to the couch, and the radio starts making more sounds again. The video recording starts to get fuzzy too, as if a ghost is causing electrical disturbances by passing by. Both of his dogs begin to look in the same spot as if they are following something.
Yeah, that's why I was asking. Look, now they look like they're actually seeing, focused on somebody, same direction.
Whatever it was, the man was never able to physically catch it on film. He was
It
only
looked
able
like
to
that.
record its strange and oftentimes violent behaviors. Before we get to number one, Ghoul School. This footage comes from somewhere in the Middle East. A group of teenagers are curiously exploring an old school. They go up a flight of steps and pause when they hear a dog whining on the other side of the door. They all run down the steps and gather at the bottom. They're afraid of being attacked by a group of stray dogs now, but they decide to press on and explore the lower areas. The group finds bravery in their numbers and begins to joke and laugh again as they make their way down a long hallway. They open a door and find graffiti on the wall. Other people had been here before them. Maybe this place isn't so bad after all. The teens grow a little more nervous as they continue to poke around. They are laughing less and starting to go silent. Something just isn't right about this section of the building. A YouTuber named Zabin Jaguar translated their comments. He says,
I saw that right away, but I don't know if it's just like a glitch, because it could look like it's somebody, but it looks like there's no shape of a head up. I don't know. Let's rewind this.
nervous as they continue to poke
So I saw
around.
it
They are
right
laughing
away
less
to
and
the left.
starting
You
to go
see some
silent.
movement.
Something just isn't right about this section of the building. A YouTuber named Zabin Jaguar translated their comments.
You see how it moved right
He
away?
says at this point one of the teens say that their phone shut itself off even though it was fully charged only a moment ago. Another person was able to keep recording, though they probably now wish they hadn't. They enter one classroom in particular and get a dreadful feeling. Suddenly, a figure actually appears out of thin air and walks towards them. The ghost is missing his head, but there's somehow no blood. A loud chanting begins as soon as the ghost walks towards them, but this may be prayers from a nearby mosque. Amazingly, the group all appears to have missed.
Wow. And yeah, of course, like, because you see they were just walking and they're naturally, they didn't react to anything. So it's probably they weren't even paying attention to their camera. They probably just had the camera up like this and walking. Just had it up and just walking around. Because, come on. Because if I would have said something about that, I would have ran the hell out of there. And it would be like, hey, bro, there's something right here. You know, like some kind of reaction to it. But so my guess is that they just have a camera walking images. You know, walking around not paying attention. Because it does look like there's a neck right here, but no head. It's crazy. It's creepy.
But there's somehow no
It's not
blood.
scary.
A loud chanting begins
It
as
probably
soon
would
as the
be scary
ghost
if it
walks
was happening
towards
to you,
them.
you know.
But this may be
But
prayers from a
watching it,
nearby
it's not.
mosque. Amazingly, the group all appears to have missed the ghost, which explains why they calmly continue to keep exploring. They wouldn't see the apparition until much later, but when they did, they would never forget what was heading straight towards them in that room.
You can clearly
Thanks for
see
checking
foot.
out this video.
You're able to clearly see his legs just walking. Anyways, this was 10 creepy ghost sightings caught on tape. And yeah, like I said before, that's pretty much going in blind. So it's my first time I'm watching it. My reactions being fresh as I'm reacting to it and showing you guys. So I have no clue what are we gonna see and if it's any good. So I apologize if some were not really creepy. Eventually I'll get to some creepy ones and get in, like, get lucky picking up a random video and actually pick a good one. I think the one I posted, I think it was yesterday or the day before, that was pretty creepy with the lady in the graveyard. You guys should go check that out. Anyways, before I end, I would like to mention that I do stream on Twitch. You'll see that in the bottom right corner. Also, if you'd like to stay updated whenever I drop the reactions, I post them on Twitter and Instagram. As soon as I, upload them on YouTube, I post them on the social media. Also, if you really want to stay updated or get the notification right away, you can also hit the notification bell so you get notified as soon as I drop something. And also comment below what you thought about this video. What got me was that creepy lady floating in the air, just because, the past with the experience I had before. And if you like the reaction, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe. And comment below if you know of a scary video you already seen but you would like me to react to. Go ahead and post it in the comments below and I'll get to it. Well, that's it for this reaction. I'll catch you in the next one. See ya.